All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Unconquered Film Session. We're going to be pretty quick on this one this week because, quite honestly, there's not a ton to really focus on that is of interest here. I think the Duke game is going to be really interesting in terms of being able to break that down. So we'll get to this right away. One thing of note here, Florida State starts out very aggressive on this one with a safety blitz. There's actually a backer and safety blitz here. And they have a screen on for this. They're trying to get this out to the back. And it's not there because Farmer actually cuts off the space. Now, the thing is, if Schrader fades and holds on to this just a little bit longer, there is actually some space out here. They've got a block here. If he can get him out here and sort of get that up in the air, you got one-on-ones. This is actually not a dead play. That's just Schrader not being confident. He's got to fade a little bit when he sees this. He wants this out right away because it's a quick one. But here, what you do if you're the quarterback is you fade with this a little bit and force that defensive lineman to run along with the flat route. You should be able to get that out there. It's just a bad play by the quarterback. And Schrader's been pretty bad this year, actually. All right. Moving on. All right. Yeah, you can see there's not really much reason for him to do this. Whatever. Take the gifts when you get them. So 3rd and 15, they run a little roll, trying to get a little space. And you see they actually put a tight end on Verse, who I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually touch Verse. And Verse does a good job not drawing a interference penalty there. And they're just trying to run a little comeback route out of a motion to try to keep FSU from being able to press on the corner. Doesn't really matter. Still too short to get the first down. It was actually a really good throw for what it's worth. But again, too short because of the loss earlier. So, first punt. You could see Coleman really wanted to get one here. I think he and they recognized something in their punt prep that they wanted to go after. Mostly Syracuse being slow. So this is a concept FSU's been running a decent amount out of these trips looks. And one of the things that they're trying to do here, by putting your number one receiver in the slot at the number 3 spot, you're essentially forcing their number 3, usually corner guy, or their number 3 corner or number 3 cover guy to try to cover him one-on-one. And that's not a good recipe. But essentially you just have a little flat route out here, curl flat, and then you've got a little stick route here. It's not actually a bunch of separation there. That's pretty good coverage, but Coleman is really good. All right, so just got a little play action off of this on 3rd and 2. This is a nice little concept here as well. I actually think this receiver here, who is that? Yeah, that's Destin Hill. I actually think he would have been better off because what they're trying to do is create a rub here with this. He would have been better off if he'd have kept his vertical a little bit more so that the defender had to run through him a little bit, but yeah, that release, try to get in here and see how that's layered. If he does take this away, generally this is gonna pop, and you've got to clear out on this side. This is basic sail flood concept here. So once again, putting your top guy in the slot here. getting the coverage you want. He gets single coverage, and then, well, what more can you say about that? That dude is a dude. Gets him turned around. If that's a good throw, I mean, he can throw him across the field here. Single coverage the whole way. If he throws him across the field here like he should, and keeps that down a little bit, instead of floating this ball. Yeah, he's just throwing off his back foot a little bit and then sort of slashing at that. Floating it downfield. If he throws this a little bit more on a line and across the field a little bit, Coleman could really make something of this. It's one of those cases where stats for a quarterback aren't always everything. It's not the best throw, but looks good in the scorecard because you got a dude catching it. Just bring that across. It floats just too long. All right, let's see where we are here. Yep, just basic screen here. Lucky to get it back. And this is packaged, so this is one of those pre-snaps, and Travis does a really good job of recognizing you got one over one here, and the forced defender would normally be this guy. If he's apexed out here, then you run the football. But he's in here. If he's going to play that far inside, you go ahead and let him block him and let this guy try to get out there quickly enough to do it. But you're expecting blitz. That's an automatic alert. Just go ahead and check that. Because otherwise it's just split zone. So split zone here, and then they've got a tag on the other side so that if the adjuster, and this is the adjuster here, if he plays inside and he looks like he's going to come, you don't even play action. You just step back, flip that out there. Easy. And the ball security could be a little better there. You'd like him to maybe double up on that, but honestly, it's just a bad break. Got a helmet on the football. Lucky to get it back. All right. So, yeah. Like that tighter. I mean, he's got it high, but that's not tight enough. You can see a little air right there. See that air? Right there. So a little air between the ball and his arm. That should be much tighter up against the body. And then when the helmet hits, it's not going to pop down. Just has a little bit too much hand and not quite enough arm there. Just got to protect it a little better. All right, so 3rd and 4. This is a nice little concept here. It's just a little pin and pull. Sort of a variation of the same kind of thing they do with G when they pull the guard out. But this time they're bringing in the tight end out of a wide arrangement to pin down. And now you're going to get a pull, and he's going to be able to get here. If you get a good block here, you're all set. So take him in. Now you should have one-on-one with the blocker here, and then the back is in position to fully get upfield. Now, Morlock's got to do more with this block. I'd like to see him get his butt turned a little bit more to the sideline here. So get a little better angle on the pin. Try to push him in that way rather than head up on there. He almost gets fought through. Actually gets a hand on the back. But this is just poor alignment from Syracuse. I'm not sure what they're doing here in terms of alignment because they're just outmanned. They're outnumbered at the point of attack. I mean, you got 1 and 2 for here. And then, I mean, this is something they must have identified in game prep because it's just bad from Syracuse in terms of their defensive alignment because you can, as soon as you pin down on him, he's got to take that edge, but because you only have 1, 2, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. You got 4 to block 4. Somebody's going to have to make a play here, and you don't have anybody coming this way. It just feels like they're a man short to the boundary, and Florida State made it a lot they did really well to the boundary in this game, and I think it's just because ultimately Syracuse just leaves themselves outmanned to the boundary, and this is part of the way that they play that 3-3 stack. But by putting him on the edge here, that allows you to pin him. You get a puller out on the edge, and you're up a man essentially. You got a hat for every hat plus the back. That's not ideal if you're defensive coach. It's the second bad snap here. And this should have been a handoff. Travis is not real comfortable with it, so he just takes it himself, punches that in. And this is just basic zone. And this is actually packaged here with a little arrow, slip arrow, because normally he's going to take the end. So this is actually a read play. He's got this. Travis is going to read him. Ordinarily, this would be a read where if he's coming in too hard, you hand that off and work there. If he's already coming downhill hard here, you just pull that, and then that's a flip out to the edge. Travis decides to keep this just because of the ball handling, I think, and then takes it in. Pretty standard. All right. So I'm, of course, doing the condensed game here. I don't think there's a whole lot more beyond that that's worth taking a look at. I do like that when they went under the center, they covered the both guards. I talked about that in a prior film session. I am not a fan of not going bare when you're under center in short yardage. You need to have each of the guards and the center covered. Play tight and then let your edge guys spill and then play to the edges here. And they're actually in position here. The issue, as far as I can tell, is both of these guys want to come inside because they're expecting that. But he has to protect the outside edge just a little bit more. And he's, I think, just a little bit off in terms of his angles. So essentially that's wrong shoulder there. And against a good back who can break tackles, this is not going to be good enough. If he's actually in position to come down here with the proper shoulder, this is stopped at the line of scrimmage. A little bit too much of that from the run defense for me right now, for my blood. I think run defense can still get a good bit better. What are they in here? So, if he's out here, I would think this is 2, but this is not 2 because, I would normally think with the corners here, both safeties back. So this is clearly some sort of mixed coverage here. Let's see. Yeah, they're actually rotating to a man-free look. That's a fun alignment. I think actually they would do better if he was lined up on the hash to disguise this rather than putting him in the middle. Because what they're doing is they're rotating man-free here, and he's coming down in man coverage against this. So you got 1, 1, 2, 2, and then he's on number 3. His balance is sort of giving him away a little bit. That's one of the things I used to tell my quarterbacks. Is the weight on the balls of his feet, or is he sort of sitting back into his butt a little bit? Because a guy that's sitting back into his butt is about to bail out. A guy that's on the balls of his feet is going to come forward. And you can see him coming forward immediately with that. But I do like them playing more man-free in this situation. I don't like that an inside release was permitted here. Because with the blitz that's coming here, he has to protect inside leverage. And it's just not, the technique there isn't great. See, he's playing inside here, and he's just reading 2 to 3 and playing inside, and then as soon as he sees the inside route, he's breaking on it. Good job by Peyton to get his hand up. Brought 6 there. I like the aggression early. There's no reason against a Syracuse team that lacks playmakers not to bring more. And against Duke this week, that's something I would do a good bit of, is stack up that line of scrimmage, force them to beat you outside. Force it, because I don't think they have the playmakers to cause you a lot of heartburn there. All right, so what do you got here? Third and 10. So he's trying to find the sticks here. I know some folks will criticize not hitting Destin Hill right here, and there's some reason for that, but I think he feels comfortable trying to get out and run based on the athleticism. They got a 4-man rush. They got a +1 here, and he thinks once that guy comes in, he's going to be able to run to the edge. It's just a really good play by the defensive tackle here to get back and do this, because if he doesn't actually force that, I actually think Travis's mistake here is if he, with his speed, if he just takes off this way instead of trying to cut back on this guy, there's a chance he actually runs and gets this, because I don't think he's going to get caught here. Would like to see him get the ball out of his hands a little bit more in those situations. Give your guy a chance at 3 yards to get all the way there. Schrader was just a mess. I mean, there's nobody open here, but there's not much. This is a called draw. Okay, that's why. It's called draw all the way. You can see that by the release right here. So, Florida State in a spy type coverage, which I hate. So yeah, they're playing outside leverage. Yeah, this is a quarters family coverage here. He's going to wall. Got deep. Second safety deep. Looks like top. They're letting him go man to man. Yeah. So, pretty basic. Again, I like that on 3rd and 6 against a team without playmakers and with a running quarterback. What do? Just go ahead and make him throw it. They brought 7 here. No, they brought 6. Okay. So he's coming with a twist here. So you go a TE twist with a double A. Wow. Double A with a twist. This is one that Elko runs as well. And Syracuse does a great job picking this up. Their offensive line actually handled themselves pretty well in this game. And I think AZ right now is the second best corner on the team after Green. He's really played well lately. So this is one where I actually think if instead of trying to hop back this way, if he just takes off this way, he's got a chance. Because you got guys here. I just think he misreads this. But if you watch the end zone view, it's there. Surprise of the day was that the next back off the bench after Toafili, or after Benson and Toafili, was C.J. Campbell rather than Hill. And I'm actually not sure if Hill is banged up or what. I mean, he didn't have the best outing last game, so there's a couple possibilities for what that could be. But I think Hill has a little bit more potential for the future. But Campbell's been a solid back, and you can see here running that well. So what do you have here? That's just zone. Nice broken tackle. Good ball security. Nice read here. Got a little curl flat concept to the bottom, and they're in a cover 3 type family here. So as soon as he vacates to go to the flat, you've got a nice window here for your curl, and then Williamson shows some nice dynamic capability. I don't like just how he looks in the pocket here. I don't think the offensive line did a great job here. Just several things. Good job just getting rid of it. You can see here, though, even in the arm slot, it's not great. I mean, again, criticizing a throwaway is a little rich, but so first down, they're going to go compress it, go short or bunch to the wide side, and this is just another screen. I mean, they ran a ton of screens in this game. They're trying to just get 1, 2, see if he can get the edge, get some positive yards. This is just a run play, basically. $11 yards on a run play you'll take. So if you're looking at what Florida State has to do better on this, your apex defender here has to be just a little slower to trigger. He's got to be aware of where that's going to be. And then make sure you take a good angle inside out. Once again here, going with the double A blitz on third down. It's the same concept they ran before on third down. I wonder how many blitzes they're actually carrying into each game, how many pressure packages. I don't think it's a bunch. But they're running a little bit more than they did last year. And again, on third down, they're just wanting to get the ball out of his hands, force the back to do something. And this is where you just got to be able to make that tackle. Who is that? Is that Hussey? I think they showed the replay, yeah. Yeah, that's Hussey. He's got to come up here and deliver this blow just a little bit. I understand he's taking the angle here, thinking that this is going to come out, and then he kind of gets into a situation where he's fighting the stiff arm. If he's going to stiff arm you here, you got to put your hand right in there and just, with all your body weight, just drop to the ground. You can see he kind of tried, I think, to do that, but just missed it. It's a really good run. But the safeties have to do a better job of tackling in space there. That's still a weakness. 2nd and 1 here. Kind of get bullied at the point of attack a little bit. Really nice job. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I think actually the backer winds up in the wrong gap. I think the backer's got to be in the A. And he winds up sort of a little bit too square. All right. So here, they're only bringing 3, but they're dressing it up real nice. Now they're dropping Verse in coverage. They're putting Peyton here in coverage. So dropping both ends, one to the middle here. The whole goal, and you can see the safety too is coming. It's just late. So the whole goal is to force them to get the ball out quickly while you're flooding kind of where they might want to throw it. But this is not great from your corner there. He's actually beat. Good throw gets there. And there wasn't really any reason to rush this from Schrader's perspective. I think he just gets spooked by seeing what he sees. But he's got plenty of time. It's just bad quarterback play, honestly. Bails the defense out a little bit there. All right. So now you got, once again, trips to the field. Ran a little bit more 11 type personnel again in this game. This one was actually 10 personnel. Running a little rub concept slant here. Trying to get that. Just block him off. Jeez. Just block him off a little bit. Do it subtly. Get upfield. It's a nice play. Easy enough. And actually, that was 11 personnel because there's your slot. And he's a tight end. All right. Once again, 11 personnel. Travis has plenty of opportunity here. Does a great job holding it until he no longer needs to. And then they've got a little sluggo concept here for, I'm actually not sure. I don't think that's actually a sluggo. I don't think that's a slant and go. I think that's just a one-on-one vertical. If you look at what he does here. Yeah, I think that's just a shake, little shake as a part of the vertical, because I think this is just a 3 verts concept. So you got a vertical here, vertical into the seam, and then a vertical here, and you're going to take the one-on-one wherever it shows up. Again, Coleman is just so dynamic that as he gets here, it's just right there. There's no chance. And if anything, I think Travis is a little late. Nice throw. Really good throw. All right. 1st and 10, 17-3 at this point, and Farmer just continues to just be an absolute monster. So he's turned loose. The tackle actually, who's supposed to block him, just kind of whiffs. And then the most impressive thing is he's one-on-one here in the open field and manages to get the quarterback on the ground. And then the quarterback, of course, trying to throw this away, trying to get the ball away, and then Farmer gets his hand in there. Now you get down inside the 5. And this should have been lights out. I mean, I'm talking about game over, 24-3. FSU manages to come away with nothing here. And this is where the condensed game is a little bit frustrating because they should have included all 3 of these instead of just 1. But I mean, FSU should have been able to punch this in, just didn't. So this is where, once again, they're just kind of flooding this. It's a snag concept here. So you've got a flat route, you've got a snag here, and then you've got a corner. I think actually this snag, I don't like that it releases out as much as it does. I think that actually muddies it a little bit. I think this should expand and then come up here, and he kind of expands and gets to here, and now you're going to wind up with 2 guys a little close to each other. I think if he's able to get inside here, you got your choice. Why is it doing that? If he's able to get inside, then you got your choice of the flat route or this, depending on how they respond. I think that's just a little bit too wide. I think in film session they're going to want him in here, because then that's going to force him to make a choice. And if he chooses there, you just stick it on the flat. Now this ends up being a corner read anyway, because as soon as he stays put, you just put it over his head to the outside. Travis just floats it. I'd like to see that get there just a little quicker. Morlock probably should catch that, but it's a B+ throw, maybe B throw, and then a F catch. And this is one where I don't like the play call. So when you're in this situation, 4th and goal, I don't like this kind of sprint out, roll out type thing. Why does it do that? I don't like this kind of sprint out, roll out type thing, because once you're out here, you really only have half the field to work with all these guys. And I'd prefer to make the defense cover the whole field a little bit more. And the other thing is, because you're unbalanced, they don't have to cover this guy. I just prefer something a little bit different. This is not my favorite here. You also aren't taking advantage of your one-on-one type freaks here. I mean, if you are going to do this, have your tallest guys on the field, I guess, but I'm just not a fan. I mean, what are they doing here? You've got essentially sticks. They're all just kind of put onto the line of scrimmage or onto the into the end zone and sitting, and there's just not going to be a whole lot there. I think that's a call that on the goal line especially I could do without. Just no, I don't like this. I don't like this as your option here. Do something. Get, run a snag again. Run some things that you've got, have him on the other side here. Have your quarterback drop a little bit with the chance of getting upfield if he needs to. I mean, I think that's when you put back in the playbook, you don't call again, but once again, another screen, and this time FSU does take it away. I mean, there's just no shot on this one. You see Peyton on the edge in position, and he could hold on to that until Kingdom comes, and he's still going to be in that spot. So this is a bad decision by the quarterback who, look, it's a screen. They're supposed to be coming in. If this is not here, you throw it at his feet instead of giving up 8 yards in the sack. That's really poor. But FSU, once again, blitzed right into the screen, brought 6, got pressure. And I think this is who FSU is defensively at this point. Just get after him. It's good coverage. Take that from... This was a little ticky-tack, but I think a good call. He does have good vision, and for as tall as he is, he's got some burst to him for a punt returner. All right, here's the first touchdown. All right. Oh no, that's not it. All right. So what do you have here? It's just outside zone again. It's a pretty good job by the tackle working his way to the second level and taking out this backer here. And then Morlock actually does, I'm after him enough when he doesn't block well. That's pretty decent. He does get pushed a little bit. His footwork could be a lot better, but he does get a piece enough that Benson is able to get moving. And the thing is, but when you get Benson right there, where he's got a head of steam coming this way and a blocker or two, he's as good as there is in the country. It's just getting him to that point that's the key. It's just inside zone. And it's a read as well. They're not blocking the edge, so Travis is reading him. And he's here, so that's a give read. Get him up inside. You're going to get a nice bit there. I would like, instead of seeing him turn around to find somebody, just keep climbing up the field and get on the safety. But they lose the backside defender here. You'd like to see that right there. This another short yardage situation that I really, really disliked. I've talked about this before. I'm not a big fan of pulling guys like this in short yardage a bunch. And I'm just not sure what the plan is here. So let me see. Is this G? I think that is. So if you don't allow leakage inside, and it looks like the leakage is coming between the guard and the, yeah, it's guard and tackle here. So between here and here, there's your leakage. If you don't give that leakage up, the tackle never quite got hold of him. If you don't give that up, then maybe he's able to get out, get this. I see what they're trying to do. I don't mind that, actually. Okay, yeah, I take back a little bit of my distaste for this particular concept, because it's real simple. If you just get Byers or Keandre working together, so I think Keandre just kind of he's already moving up, and I think Byers needs a hand here. If he just gets a hand on him and lets Byers reset, now you're looking at hitting right into that space, and there's a seam there. That right there, you get lead blocker, get right here, but it's just blown up by the player from the other side. That's why that fails. So, yeah, they're one block away from this hitting. Because, oh man, you get the lead block right here. Now, it would hit a lot better if 70 hits this square instead of the way he does. I mean, you're still going to have to break a tackle probably to get through there. But yeah, there's basically two blocks. That's 2 blocks away from a touchdown. That's oof. Once again, this little screen that they had success with earlier, you notice that this time when they have this check here, the backer doesn't really bite here. He's not headed this way now. He's working here a little bit more. They're expecting that. No shot. That's much better. Nice job here by Patrick Payton, who recognizes that they want to get outside here on the roll, and he just takes it away. He just says, you're going to have to stay inside, and gets his hands up, makes this an uncomfortable throw. Turns out not to matter because they're running a little smash concept. So it's an expand smash from a stack. So he's going to work his way to here, and then that's just a corner route in the back. And essentially you're reading this corner. If he stays up, then you throw that corner route because he's going to have leverage where he's going to be in trail. You throw it back in here, and it's going to be hard for the defender to cover that. And he throws a dime here. I mean, it's a 9, maybe not. It's not a 10, but that's really good. It's not bad at all. Now, I don't know what Dent is doing here. I would like to see Dent recognize that he's going up to get the pass, and you put your face mask right about there through the small of the back as he's coming down, and you got a chance to break this up. Instead, I'm not sure what he does. Oh, hi. Just kind of waves at him going by. It's very strange. Because he's in position. I don't know if he's expecting maybe to be able to intercept this if he thinks it's overthrown. You got to play the ball through the man here. If he just plays physical and puts his helmet right through the back, this probably isn't caught. Almost turned into a touchdown. Pretty good coverage by the corner. It was that Jarian Jones. It's good coverage there. Just didn't get any help. Once again, quads just trying to run a screen. They ran a ton of screens. Not bad from Bethune. This is where you'd like to see the edge guy take on this back just a little wider instead of trying to cut in here. Maintain your lane just a little better, but there's nothing there. All right, offensively. This is nice to see. So you got 3rd and 5. It's what he probably should have done earlier. You've got this verticals concept with a... so this is a vertical up top, and then you got to follow rail route here. And then the shallow is your outlet. Just get it out to your outlet. Let that turn into a first down. That's pretty easy. Once again, very similar. Getting some verticals. I think that's 4 verts, and they're just running an outlet again. Toafili. Verts play here, and this... You could see Travis is really upset after this one. This is just flat out a problem with the left tackle, and this is evidence to me that Robert Scott is not anywhere near as healthy as he needs to be, because this is just this is not good from the tackle. I mean, I have no idea what he's doing here in terms of why he stops his feet and dips his head down. If he doesn't get all his weight headed forward and he just sits into his protection here and punches, then he can just maintain this, no problem. But he gets off balance, kind of reaches, not sure why, gives up the edge. That's just not good that's not good technique. Just sit back. The kick's not good. Just from the ground up, that's not good. Yeah, what is he doing? See how he's trying to duck that head. He just needs to sit back and be willing to go. I did see some folks criticize the guard here for not doing anything, but he has to look for stuff, and his job is not to play out here. His job is to play in here. The tackle needs to set and then force this guy inside, where he's then going to get his ribs punched by the guard. This is just no good. And Travis had no reason to expect that. So Bless Harris really needs to be back on the left side. And you see, as soon as that happened, they went back to Washington here. That is a concern coming into this week, because Washington getting dinged up at the end of last week is that's not ideal. They're not where they want to be in terms of tackle depth right now. That's a really good throw. I mean, it floats a little bit, and you can see he's not fully extending that arm. He's pulling down on it right there. You see how he's pulling down before the full extension of the arm. That's going to cause the ball to float, but the location here is just terrific, and that's... It's another one where you can see how he's trying to quicken that arm right there, and see right there how the arm is bent as it comes down, as that arm finishes. That is what I mean, and I'll have to, again, I'm going to do a video where I show this. That is what I mean when I talk about not fully extending, is he's just keeping that elbow bent and trying to accelerate the hand through, and then you're going to get this kind of thing. Anytime you do this, it's going to lead to inaccuracy. And that's just a poor throw. And it's a poor throw because of the poor mechanics. You just do not see the top throwers at any level do that. You'll see different arm slots. You'll see all sorts of things. But one thing that will be consistent extension down the arm through the triceps. Not much to talk about there. Yeah, this is pretty good here. Had a chance. It's a really nice play off script by Travis here. This is just a base play action roll. And what they're trying to do is get this backside over route, or the post route on the backside. This is a play where they're expecting a big play here. They've got a deep post here and an over route, and one of those should hit. They're kind of expecting him maybe to come in, and you're able to get that deep post like that. So you feel real good that you're going to get that, but Bell isn't able to hold this off, and he wants to uncork this now, but because it's just the timing is off, he now ends up checking that down to Bell, and then you see Bell is an athlete. So here you've got outside zone. It's not bad from the edge here from Bell. Manages to get his guy turned, and then just enough for Benson to get in there. I think this is a miss from... Yeah, Smith isn't able to hang on to the one technique here. I think you probably want to see... Yeah. I think you just... That's not bad from up front. You're just going to... Nothing's ever going to be perfect. That's not bad. So this is very similar to what they ran earlier. And this is just straight... Is that duo? No, that's zone. Duo, you'd get the turn back. All right, so this is just inside zone read. Indy dash. Gotta love that. He took the crown off himself, put it on Jordan Travis. And I'm not going to go too much longer here because there's not a whole lot more to cover. But this is one I wanted to get to. So here you've got your base third down situation. Got your base 4-man. And they're going to zone blitz this, or they're going to... It's not a zone. They're going to have a dropper here, and then you're going to have the backers trigger downhill along with the safety. And ultimately, they happen to hit it right where, as you're getting that movement and the backer coming downhill, I think this backer here, is that Bethune, I think he gets out of his gap. Because with the dropper here, he's going to come here. He's got B gap now. And I think he reads zone and he's working over this way. You've got an extra guy there because of the safety blitz. He's got to stay on this side of the B gap. That right there is his gap. And if he's able to do that, then at worst, you end up with him having to block here. Space is closed, and then Verse is able to come in and clean up. So it's just, I think the backer is scraping when he should be triggering there. He's just wrong. It's a good run. Yeah. A little more under control from the tackle as well as he gets penetration. That's not good. You can't give that up. And then one-on-one here, the big receiver is able to get the stop. That's good throw and catch in a freebie situation. And, coverage isn't bad, but great throw and catch. Good recognition here from the backer. So you pass off the shallow, recognize that they've got a back working on an angle here. You just kind of feel it and you work your way into that spot. So this is significant improvement on handling that angle. And I feel pretty good about that. And that's a terrible kick. Okay, last couple here. Once again, go empty. They match up with 4/4. You're going to take that one. Just got to get one guy blocked. It'll be easy. Yeah, he's just not driving the ball through the arm. You're seeing a lot more arm speed than you're seeing ball speed, and that's just because he's pulling down instead of letting it crack out like the end of a whip. See if we can get to the punt return, and then we'll wrap after that. All right, so really nice throw and catch. Once again, nice downhill blitz here. Gonna bring back 2 backers up the A. There's actually 3 up the A, so 3 up the middle. Hey, diddle, diddle, 3 up the middle. You're going to get somebody home when you do this, but you also are exposing yourself in the back end. But you got corners that are better than their receivers, so then you get to this. Plenty of space here. And this is where one of the things that's so impressive about Coleman is his contact balance. He's in position to go down there. And once again, 2 guys just miss him, but he's so strong. And you got to see, I'm sure there's going to be some discussion in the film that Norvell is running as fast as anybody else on this field right now. Ultimately, just a hustle play from the backside. The thing that keeps this from being a touchdown is right here. These guys on the backside have to recognize where they are, and you've got 2 in front, there's 2 there. Get your eyes away from the ball carrier, stop watching, and start trying to peel back and see if there's anybody there. You don't want to peel back block, but you want to see if there's anybody there who's going to be hustling from the backside. Cut that angle off. Don't watch here. Start, you've got extra guys here. Start getting your eyes here. The other thing is, I'd like to see a little more effort here to finish and get your hands on this guy. Because if somebody cuts this guy off, this scores. Turn back around right here. Just get in the way, and that scores. It's one of the things that always drives me crazy about convoys is guys get really excited about running alongside the guy that's going to score. But what you've got to do is you've got to start working your way towards wherever the remaining players are if you're on the outside of that convoy. And that's something that I'm sure they'll talk about in film this week. That right there is just so impressive with the quickness and the contact balance. See, that's good right there. And you got 1-2, so start checking back. You don't need to help here. He's going to take care of the guys in front. Just don't let anybody come back. It's the guys from behind you got to worry about there, and just close. That's something you got to just keep working on. All right, 4th quarter was uncompetitive, and I'm just not going to spend a whole lot of time there. Got a little blitz here off the edge. Honestly, I think this should have been a give. Just hand this ball off right there. And he's got a chance because he's playing real wide. And this is a give read the whole way. And I just think he makes the wrong read. I'd like to have seen him out of the game after this drive. But right now it should be at minimum 38-3, if not more. And with this drop, it should have been 45-3, very nearly an interception. Instead, you're 27-3. It's just that's where they are right now. They've got they've got to learn to finish and close teams out in the red zone, in halves, in quarters, to be able to get to situations where, look, this game was not competitive. Syracuse is not going to beat you at this point, but you shouldn't have to have a single starter. I mean, they got some starters out here at this point. Shouldn't have a single starter out there at this stage of the game against that team, because you should be up 45-3. And still a lot to clean up. That's something that as I watch through this, it becomes more apparent that on certain things, there's just, especially up front, there's a few things left to clean up for this team. Still like to see Travis execute a little bit better in terms of throwing. I'm just not. I don't think that's actually going to change, because the fundamentals have to change in order for certain results to get a little better there. But all in all, keep moving forward. I think this next week against Duke is going to be a significantly larger challenge. But again, that's a team that doesn't have a whole lot to challenge you outside, and I think this very similar to this defensive game plan is what you're looking to replicate. Once again here, look at the arm action here. See how that arm is bent right there as it's coming through at the elbow. It never actually fully straightens to get there. It should be straight down the line, and instead it's bent and coming down and across. And the result is what I've talked about on the podcast. You're going to get high and usually a little bit off to one side, but a high ball is going to be the norm on that. And you still got a special dude, but that should be a ball that is located right in here immediately. And that hand should not be coming down to the opposite pocket here like that. Just should be finishing out here and then kind of dropping a little bit as it comes in front. So still frustrated to see some of the throwing stuff that I'm seeing, but, you deal with it. Here you go with the score. What is this? This is last one we'll cover. It's just counter. Just GY counter. Oh, man, they fit this really poorly. This backer is really not in good shape. He's got to try to get out here. Backer should be right here. Knowing that this is counter, he's got to be right out here. Now you still might get that, but that's going to free up this guy to potentially make the tackle. And instead, he's late and too tight. If he's here, you're fine. Instead, late and too tight, and it goes from being maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain to a score because of it. Nice run. Gotta love the blocking here on the edge. Who is that? Is that Coleman? What a boss. Yeah. Game should have been put away long before that, but give them credit. It's a very good football team. Still getting better. Still a long way to go.